Good evening, everyone, and welcome to SRW TV for Round 7 of the SRW League V8 Supercars Super 1 Series, brought to you by DSO Welding. Once again, I am Dano, and with me tonight on comms is Cal, your average sim racer, and Shibby, as always, bringing us the lovely camera angles, as he does every single broadcast. Tonight, we are coming to you from one of the longest tracks on the iRacing service, Le Mans. Cowie, what do you think of this track? It's a bloody good one.
Mate, it's going to be tricky for the guys. I've always felt that this track, it's all about those chicanes. If you can get a fast run out of the chicanes and those exit onto the straights, that's where you make up all your time. And it's a fine line between an off-track, a slow down, and a clean lap around here.
That's exactly right, Cowie. It's actually one of the sort of weirder tracks in iRacing where you can actually get more slowdowns than you actually do off tracks. I found, at least racing here, you cut that first chicane is quite dangerous. You maybe exit a little wide out of the exit of the chicane, and you'll actually pick up a 1 or 2 second slowdown penalty, as well as the exit of Tetra Rouge, which is the right-hander coming up onto the straight. Why has the name
straights around here?
Why has the name of the main straight just completely gone from my mind?
Well, have a look at the map that I've got up in our broadcast notes, buddy. I think it's got it there. No, it's been. I'm looking forward to this tonight. So we're back into the enduro format. So we have a 70-minute race tonight. I don't believe there'll be any random safety car called as usual. There is no fuel cap, I believe, so that'll give the drivers out there a few more sort of strategy options.
Nice 110 litres.
Yep, and we have one compulsory pit stop. So two tyres you must change, minimum. Though, again, as I said before, with the supercars and the amount of fuel you've probably got to put in, there's no point taking two. You'll take all 4 tyres. They tend to chew through them pretty quick too anyway.
Yeah, so it's the Mulsanne Straight. I knew it started with an M, and I completely forgot for some reason, so apologies, everyone. The Le Mans track is a very historic track in motorsport. It's been around for very, very long. It's officially named, I've been practicing this, it's called Circuit de la Sarthe. And I don't think I've butchered that. I think I did that quite well, but I'm not too sure. And these supercars, they go pretty well, as we're watching Scott Barton for After Dark Sim Racing navigating that first chicane down the Mulsanne. So yeah, if you go over that yellow and blue curbing on the right-hand side of that exit, you will end up getting a slowdown, but no off-track. So you can kind of use that to your advantage, even though a slowdown on a straight, not really an advantage.
Look, it's one of the things, I suppose, you know, out of the cars in iRacing, the V8 Supercar is one of them that tends to handle curbs pretty good. You know, but again, yeah, as you're saying, there's just so much risk of that slowdown, and, you know, that slowdown will cost you positions. I think it's going to be a really, sorry, I kept talking then, buddy. I'm sorry. I was going to say it's going to be a really interesting start to the race. I know every race I've had here at Le Mans in iRacing is, you know, 20 or 30 cars trying to go through turn 1 all at the same time. So it'll be interesting to see if there's a few of the boys show a bit of aggression early on, or they play the long game.
Well, you've got to be careful through those Dunlop curves coming into the Dunlop chicane, because if you go in too hot, you're going to lock up, and if you're not at the front of that pack that is locking up, you're going to take out a couple of people, and they're not going to be too happy. So it's got to be a fine line, as always, in these cars of where you want to make your overtaking, and especially here at Le Mans, where the draft is so crucial, you've got to really pick your overtaking spaces. As that's Bruce Tannock here in qualifying, just getting a bit loose there, the rear end sort of stepping out. That's through Indianapolis and Arnage.
You can see the teamwork here already, so both of these boys will be, I'd say you're going to see all the teams working together. We're sending 2 cars out together to maximise that draft and probably take turns at trying to set a hot lap. Because again, you know, I mean, we've seen before in this SRW Championship, the V8 Super Ones. It's been tight. You know, the times for qualifying, you know, we barely had a second separating the top 15 or 20 drivers in some of these races.
It's exactly right. These guys put in a show every week, and they put in the practice, they put in the hours to make sure that they, you know, are on top. As we just saw, that was Bruce Tannock hitting the wall. That wall through the Porsche curves is so deadly. It can absolutely ruin a race. So I'm sure once they just come through the Ford chicanes now.
Well, the problem is normally if you were...
lap.
Well, if you were qualifying, normally you would probably just get out of that or restart, you know, and but when you're trying to work together as a team and help each other out, you can't sort of restart, so we might drive around with that damage for a lap or two. I was actually going to say we've had a bit of movement in the championship for these guys, so it's round 7, so we're well and truly you know, through the meat of the season and starting to get towards the culmination. But Blake Delaney, after his great result for the last 2 rounds, has now moved into the championship lead. He's 108 points ahead of Alex Court. Alex has had a pretty good season, up and down. He's had a few issues. I know last week he got sort of caught up and tangled and finished well down the field, which I know Alex wouldn't have been happy with. But again, you know, 108 points. This is an enduro, so I think, is it a triple point round again?
Sure is, yeah. Triple points on offer tonight, so all the marbles are up for grabs tonight, as that was just seeing Kai Turner going a bit deep. He locked up there into the Dunlop chicane, so that's what I was talking about there. You've got to be braking very early, even in some of the other cars. I know GT3, you know, you don't even lock up that car. You probably want to be braking around there even earlier than that, just because of how the car is and how the corner is uphill. You have to turn in quite late. It's an interesting corner to navigate.
Oh, look, I mean, we've seen before how close qualifying is, so these guys are pushing right from the word. There's no real banker laps here from the boys. They're pushing hard. I'd say if it gets down to the last, you know, 5 minutes and they haven't put a good lap in, then they will be just, you know, do a nice safe one to make sure they're not right at the back of the grid. But again, I mean, you know, it's been a really interesting season. We've seen sort of a few changes with a couple of the guys dropping out of our regular contenders. But again, you know, Blake's just shown his class, jumped right at the top. Alex behind him. Michael Whiting has been a big mover too in the last couple of rounds. He's now 3rd in the championship. He's had some really good results. And then I think Alan Dawson in 4th, Matty Scholes in 5th, and Matty Stewart in 6th. So, you know, again, it's still fairly condensed there in the middle of the leaderboard. So triple points, buddy. There could be some movement still to come.
Oh, definitely going to be some movement in the championship. I know that we've not got too many rounds to go. How many rounds? I think it's 3 more rounds after this.
It's a 10-round season, I believe.
Yeah.
10 rounds.
Oh, excuse me, sorry. So yeah, 10 rounds. So we're at round 7 at the moment. So we've got Snetterton next week, followed by Zandvoort, and finishing out at Imola with a endurance race. So it's going to be a triple points finish for the last race. So this race here could really mix it up going into that race towards the end.
Oh, look, you know, again, I mean, I think that's quite fitting with an enduro to finish it out, so that'll be quite interesting. This has been our European sort of track season, so the guys have been driving on some new tracks for them in the V8, so you know, I hope they've been enjoying it. I know some have and some haven't, but you know, that's the way it goes. Thanks for the shout out there, Blake. Just saying have a great call for us, so best wishes to both of us, I suppose, Dano, not just me.
Thank you very much, Blake. Hope you have a good race, mate.
Yeah, well, look, he's been hot, man. I mean, we're having a look at Dylan Thomas here as well. And Dylan showed some pace. I think he's been another one of those guys that has sort of got caught up in some of the shenanigans. I mean, look, we love to see it. We call it shenanigans and that because we know that there's no intent. You know, when you know, these guys have a bit of a run in, it's all about, you know, trying to, they're putting a price on their position and driving hard and fair, and sometimes, you know, those lines blur a little, Dano.
Yeah, they certainly do. I was just watching there. Dylan took Arnage there absolutely beautifully. There was no lockup, no nothing. He's taken that very nicely. And you were talking earlier, Callie, about how they, need to put in a safe. Like, that's going to be an off track right there, that's for sure. And they need to put in a safe lap. But an out lap takes you 4 minutes, right? And then you have to another 4 minutes to actually complete the lap. So
True.
realistically, the last people who are setting laps are going to be coming across the line at 22 minutes, or leaving the pits at about 22 minutes, I should say. So you've got to be timing it very, very early rather than late here. Just because of how big the track is.
I don't know how much sort of overlap time there will be before qualifying ticks over to race. So I would doubt that there's any. I don't think there has been, has there?
No,
so
it hasn't been.
Because I have to get it done in the 30 minutes. We have given them an extra 10 minutes qualifying time just because of the length of this place. I mean, we're already seeing Blake Delaney do a 356.6, about half off, 7/10 ahead of Alex at the moment.
Yeah.
But, again, these guys are doing under 4 minutes already. I think I might have done a 4 minute flat around here.
Hey, that's pretty good, Callie. That's actually really good. Getting into the under 4 minutes in any car around here is a good feat. So, hats off to you. Alex.
Oh, look, I love
not
V8s.
Alex. That was Scott there using absolutely all of the track through Arnage. Got to get the car really nice out and wide. And he was showcasing that very well. It's an interesting track, on paper, maybe looks like it won't give too, amazing racing, because it's just straights. But in reality, because of the straights, it provides just a long draft, and teams are able to work together, rivals are able to work against each other. It brings in a lot of tactics that you don't see at other tracks, and one of those other tracks where that won't come into play is Zandvoort, which is one of the shorter tracks. It's a high downforce track. You've got to be, you're almost always turning at that track, so it's going to be interesting to see how those drivers tackle that track, but we'll stick to Le Mans while we're here.
Should be playing around with one of his favourite cams here. Right on the front splitter. Yeah, look, I mean, basically these V8 Supercars, aero-wise are a brick with wheels, so they would punch a fairly big hole in the air. So if you can get right in the toe, there's going to be plenty of benefits there. And again, that's why we're seeing the teams going out, as teams pairing up just to try and take advantage of that, get that toe.
Yeah, I think anyone who, doesn't have a teammate is kind of at a disadvantage here. Not to say that they're a bad driver or anything. It's just sort of how it goes with a track like this with open quali. You can see Tyson McAvoy, who's got a lot of pace. He's giving the draft to his teammate here. And and these two, have pace, so we'll definitely see them in the top 10, I think.
I think, as you said there before, Dano, qualifying's big. It's much better to be up front than get caught in the mess, especially if we have some aggressive moves into turn one. But still, it's not the bees all and end all. This is an enduro, so there's going to be strategy calls. There'll be guys playing the long game. So yeah, it'll be quite interesting how that Tyson did a 4 minute flat there. Harry Dodd's 1/10 up on Tyson there, so the boys working together good.
The draft didn't actually work too well there. I think that may have been Tyson, who looked to take the forward chicanes quite slowly, and that's Michael Whiting's car. He's looked like he's had a bit of a knock that I reckon that's come from the Porsche curves as well, that right hand concrete wall, which is so deadly to so many drivers, and I will admit I have absolutely smashed into that wall in an LMP2 and ruined a comfortable win, actually. It was quite devastating.
It's actually a pity that iRacing isn't doing the Le Mans 24-hour anymore. I think R-Factor have got that, have they? Or one of the other...
Yeah, I mean...
at the moment.
It's one of those things that they have their little workaround where they work it into the VRS Endurance Series, where they have... Yeah. On the same weekend, it is Le Mans on the calendar, so it's technically an iRacing 24-hour of Le Mans, but it is, not officially. And then you have a bunch of other 24-hour races as well, which is, pretty cool. I know they had Monza 24-hour, which is cool.
Daytona was the last 24-hour.
Yeah, Daytona was one of the official ones. That was an awesome race. Unfortunately, I couldn't get involved. My internet is not good enough yet. But I don't know if we're, me and my flatmates might be looking at something.
Yeah,
or something
I was a bit too busy this year to be able to do it. I did do the Daytona 24-hour with the wheelie bins last year, which was great fun. But yeah,
endurance races are always fun if you've got a team. I did actually some go-karting on Friday evening, and that was actually an endurance round. We did 80 minutes of go-karting, and they did it in a Bathurst format. So it was first team to cross with 161 laps, and you had, I think we had 9 driver changes that we had to get through. Nice. A lot of fun jumping in and out of a car.
Let's have another look at Dylan Thomas here. So Dylan's where is Dylan at the moment? I don't think he's managed to put in a time yet. No, so this will be he's probably his first chance at a hot lap again. But he's out there on his own, so. Well, I think now he's just trying to get a time up. Get anything on the board.
Yeah, I think when we watched him on that first lap, he just went a bit deep into the right-hander after the Porsche curves. So I was in the finishing part of the Porsche curves and caught an off-track. You can see maybe just taking a little bit wider there. You hear the car in very low revs. He's going to get very close to that wall on the right-hand side, just trail braking through this section now, making sure not to go wide this time and get an off track. He's done that beautifully through there, and he'll throw it into the left-hander, and he'll keep it on track lovely as well as he'll come into the final part of the circuit, the Ford chicanes, not Porsche. Apologies.
Porsche probably liked the fact that you were saying that there, buddy. We've got our own sponsors to talk about, buddy. DSL Welding is our major sponsor. We've also got Dragonrc. We thank them for their support, and the promo department. Hopefully we don't see the promo department safety car tonight, but it's...
We do like seeing it out on track.
It's Le Mans. I can see something happening that'll bunch everyone up, but we'll have to just, see how it all pans out.
Yeah, we certainly will. I mean, we didn't see a safety car on Thursday with the Porsche Cup that went around here, I don't believe. From memory, we didn't have a safety car. So, we could get lucky here. It's a long track to go around in a safety car. You'll lose probably 8, maybe 12 minutes of race time.
Again, that's one of the reasons why we do it's part of our 24/7 race control to look after all our race control stuff here, independent stewards, and that they will actually put one of their guys in the safety car, so that way we can do it for a quarter of a lap instead of doing a whole, if we called out the iRacing one, it'd be like 2 laps, and so, and that'd be like 20 minutes of the race gone.
I did have a chat with one of the 247 race control boys, asking for suggestions as to whether they should keep the safety car in the pit lane or keep it out on track. I did suggest that they keep it out, in the final sector of the track, just to get everyone all formed up nice and quickly, instead of having to have the pace car do a whole lap and everything.
I think the thing is we can. They can make that call to, let them buy at any time. So, even if they only use one of the big long straights to bunch everyone back up and then let it go again. Generally, I mean, we're not talking real motorsport here where you need to get cranes in and guys to sweep up the debris and all that sort of stuff.
Thankfully,
so that's the one advantage we have. But effectively, we do have a rule in there that if the guys do have a major accident, they're not to tow or automatically hit the exit button. They're to wait. They can request a tow from race control, but then, obviously race control will make the decision if they're bringing out a safety car or not.
That was Harry Dodds there going very, very wide, and now I think they're going to reset. There's Harry Dodds, and he's gone into the wall. I don't know if that's going to be a lot of damage.
I don't think
looks like that rear left is quite bent in. Not sure if that will benefit. That side panel is also looking a bit worse for wear.
And it might make it a bit leaner in the wind. We'll have to see. But yeah, this is still their outlap, so the boys are getting ready, just coming up to the last chicane here before they get onto the first past the start-finish line and see how well they can hook up a lap. both of
Well,
these
we've had-
boys are running. Harry's in 10th at the moment. And look at that. Tyson was only a 10th behind him, but Kai Turner has decided to split
Wow.
that there at 11th.
Very, very close there.
I mean, we're looking at, Blake Slaps is still standing out there. He's on an outlap still at the moment. Again, these guys probably only going to get 2 shots at the cherry really here. They might be able to do a 2 hot laps. But the problem is, again, as we said before, these tyres have a very limited window where they give you 100% grip. They'll generally fall off to that 90%.
Both of them getting a bit loose there over the end of the corner, coming through Tetra Rouge. Oh my god, my desk is absolutely wobbly as all hell. Sorry. I'm going to try and do some troubleshooting while we're commentating. I don't have everything fall off my desk.
Well, we just saw some wobble from both of the performance sim racing vehicles, so yeah. It's good fun to watch. The boys you can see that they are pushing as hard as they can. The car's right on the edge of grip, and as we've said before, that's what you need to do to get near the top of the leaderboard. The competition has been fierce this season.
Yeah, it certainly has. It's been absolutely non-stop racing. It's been very, very close up the front. So, if you do want to have that lap set in, you do have to be working together with somebody. And Alex Court seemingly has done that. He's gone 6/10 quicker than Blake Delaney up at the front. So he has taken out the provisional pole at the moment with 10 minutes left in this qualifying session.
That's a great lap from Alex. I was just noting that Kai Turner just, pipped Harry as well. Kai, 14 hundredths of a second off breaking that 4-minute barrier. So it's almost like the 4-minute mile barrier, isn't it, buddy? We're seeing the top 10 all under that 4-minute barrier. So, these guys are really showing their pace.
Yeah, they certainly are. They do it every week. And, we've loved to see these guys improve over the season as well. We've seen them get better as racers. We've seen some rivalries form up as well. Obviously,
having a look.
Like Delaney, Robbie Griffiths
having a look.
as well.
Yeah, having a look at one of our excitement machines so far in the season too, Alex McManus. He's had some, good results and mixed in with some errors that have made for some exciting viewing. I don't know if Alex would like us to remind everyone of them, but it's we love seeing these boys push hard, and it does mean that you will make mistakes. I mean, it's a fine line between first and 11th really in this season.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's been a very fine line towards probably P5 all the way down, basically to the rest of the grid. It's been pretty close calls in terms of times and the driving and everything. So it's really been on in that mid-pack as to who's going to be taking out that P5 spot in the championship and everything else. So, you have your quick boys up the front. Alex Court, Blake Delaney, David Nash is up there tonight, Michael Whiting. Bruce Tannock was up there for a couple of rounds, but he's seemingly dropped back, which is interesting. We've had, a couple of those other boys down the order as well jump up to the front of the field. Tyson McAvoy, Kai Turner was up there as well. Matty Stewart, a couple of those boys like to put in the effort, get up the front. So, the reverse grid format has sort of shaken things up a bit a few times. So we've seen sort of some of those guys that have been, running mid-pack have had a chance to run out front, which is great. I think it also, gets those faster guys get to show their true pace when they've got to try and fight through the field too. And I mean, this season, Alex Court and Blake Delaney have probably really shown that they're, have got a cut of pace, I suppose, over the rest of the field, but then it's so close sort of as you go down through the field. And again, on their day, any of these guys have got a chance of winning. Yeah, they certainly do. One of the guys who also is involved in that top 5 battle is Matt Stewart for Vast Motorsport, always putting in good laps as well. We also have a couple of others down the order, but, Tyson McAvoy's improved on his lap. He's up into P7. We'll stay on board with Matt Stewart. I am just going to pop out for a second. I'm going to go see if we have some super glue.
running repairs during the commentary. You're a classic, Dano. Yeah, look, no, Matty's had a great season. He's up into 5th or 6th, I think. I did see it before. Hang on. It was... I must have had it mixed up, actually. But yeah, no, Matt has had a pretty good season so far, some up and downs, but he's provided some exciting racing. And again, you know, I mean, a place like Le Mans, it's because it's an enduro, we're going to see probably the cars sort of, you know, spread out a bit. But again, we've seen how powerful the draft is, so hopefully that's going to create some exciting action for us tonight. And our sponsors, DSL Welding Services, the promo department, we do hope that safety car doesn't come out. Also Dragonrc, it's great to have them on board as well. So again, should be an exciting round, and looking forward to see all of these names we're starting to get used to, and the cars. I'm getting better at picking your cars out there, gents. So, but you know, if I do make mistakes, feel free to hang shit on me. You know, that's how it works around here.
Well, since we're watching the supercars now, I'll take this little moment to promote. We've got a just in our off season. We're going to be running a V8 Supercars 6-hour endurance season. So each race is going to be a 6-hour endurance in the Supercars. Obviously, with driver swaps, I am assuming, because, you know, 6 hours driving on your own is torture.
A minimum 2 drivers, I think you can have maximum of 3 in your team.
It's going to be awesome. So if anyone, you know, you want to get involved with anything like that, we've got links in our descriptions and stuff to get involved there. So make sure to check that out as well.
Yeah, I've got to make that decision myself, whether I want to call it or drive it, buddy. Haven't decided yet.
If there's a loud crash bang and you hear some expletive swearing followed by some crying, my desk broke.
Shibby just told us that we're actually going to be donating 50% of the sort of monies generated from the registration to the Black Dog Institute. So giving that, you know, pretty much I think every driver in our league is male at the moment, so we have decided to support the Black Dog Institute and really sort of shine a light on you know, men's mental health. I know a few of the drivers have sort of made a few call-outs time to time on this issue. I know Harry Dodds he's opened up and admitted he's had some issues in the past. I think we all do. As blokes, we don't tend to talk about our feelings. You know, we'd rather hang shit on each other, I suppose. Yeah. You know, but it is one of those things, mate. Right.
I think it's one of those things. You know, it's getting better. I think, you know, a lot of these drivers running on the back there, you can see on Tyson McAvoy's livery, it's the hashtag Talk to Me Bros. So we do always encourage here at SRW. We encourage you guys to speak out. We do want you guys to all be okay. We want you tuning in. We want you to enjoy the racing as well. So, you know, make sure to reach out to your friends and family and make sure that they're okay.
I was going to say something while you had Tyson's picture up there. If you want to throw Tyson's car back on for a minute, I just wanted to, I think I might have a bit of a bone to pick with Tyson. Tyson wants me to join Performance Sim Racing, his team, become one of his drivers. And I was talking to him about purple colour for my car. And it looks like he's stolen it on. Yeah, it looks like he's stolen it on me.
Well, I don't know if any of them know that I'm going to be running in the F3 series next season. So I haven't had anyone approach me yet, but I'm not sure what I'll say yet.
Put some feelers out, Dano. I've known Tyson and Harry and the boys with Performance Sim Racing for you know, a bit. Tyson is also a member of the Wheelie Bins, and that's where I first met him. Actually, when we were talking about the Daytona 24-hour, Tyson was one of the drivers. So yeah, you know, so we've you know, got a friendship there. So I think, you know, he's been trying to encourage me to join his team for a while now. So we'll see how we go. But I don't want to you know, have any bias or anything in my call. It's great to see all of these guys. I'm getting to know everyone's names. We Also put a shout out to the Saturday night mayhem that SRW does. So if you want to come along for a fun race where we basically try and take each other out, come and join us on a Saturday night at SRW. You'll find it in the hosted races.
It's always a bit of fun. I actually missed out last night because I completely forgot about it and went to bed.
I've been gigging all weekend, buddy, so I haven't had a chance to be on the sim at all. Tonight I've come back and this is the first time I've sat in the sim all weekend, and that's to commentate. Well, we've got about a minute and a half left of qualifying here. Blake Delaney is on a lap, so it was to see if he gets a chance to finish that and see if he can snap that time. That top spot back off Alex, only a 10th separating them. So, this is what we talk about, Dano. This is a 4-minute long track, 13k, was it 13.63 k's?
Something like that.
And 1 and 2 are a 10th apart. That's crazy.
Yeah, it looks like Blake backing out of that lap with just under a minute to go now. It looks like he probably won't get another one in. Small rock up into Indianapolis.
Well, unless there's enough run-off time after that these guys, as long as they pass the start-finish line, before the flag drops, the end of quali, then maybe they'll get a lap in. I'm not sure how much overlap time there'll be.
Yeah, it'll certainly be interesting. I'm not sure if we've run too much throughout, but there has been a couple of races where it has sort of clocked over and such.
Well, thanks, Adam. Adam just doing a shout out to Greg Leake. So there's Team Greg. Was it Team Greg? Team Greg. Bit of support there from Adam Hughes, our current series leader in the Porsche Cup Series. Oh, he's having a look at the Facebook screen.
He had some connection issues. Sorry, are you with me, boys?
Yeah, man, we heard you there. Sorry. So the flag is dropped. It's saying that there's 5 minutes left of remaining time, so the guys that did cross the line will get a chance to finish the lap. So there you go. I wasn't sure how long we would have if the guys could get out there that they could finish their laps. While you're going to have cars pulling in if they have wrecked their lap, or if they're still on their out lap, there's no point continuing on. Have we got actually any cars on track, buddy?
Nah, so usually, Cowie, I think what happens is after that time, even though there might be a little bit of a runoff, I'm pretty sure they call everyone into the pits and just say that that's it.
Okay.
I think that we should, have it, how in F1, if you cross the line before that time is up, you get to finish your lap, and I think that's probably how most qualifying should go, because it's, a little bit more fair, I suppose.
Well, here we go. Well, we're getting ready for the start, buddy. So we've got the starting grid up. So, in pole position, we do have Alex Cord with After Dusk Sim Racing with a 356.039. That's a great time.
Quick.
1/10 back to Blake Delaney. With Fishy Motorsports. In third position, we've got Michael Whiting, another Fishy Motorsports car. David Kirby with Fishy Motorsports in fourth. That's a great run from David. David Nash with Wright Sim Racing in fifth. Hayden Norris, his teammate, in sixth position. Tyson McAvoy, great result from Tyson. He up into seventh with Performance Sim Racing. Alan Dawson, another Wright Sim Racing guy. In eighth, Bruce Tannock with Mag and Turbo Motorsports, and Scott Barshin with After Dark Sim Racing in 10th.
Rounding out the rest of the grid, we have P11, Dylan Thomas, just missing out on that P10, Matt Stewart down in P12, Kai Turner, Alex McManus, Harry Dodds, and Peter Baxter, our promo department safety car, as always.
It's going to be a great race, buddy. I think we're going to see Blake and Alex sort of, race fairly carefully. I don't think those boys will be trying to make too many moves at the start of this race, but I reckon we might see a few guys push a little harder into turn one here and see if they can, maximise their start.
Well, with triple points on offer, all of these guys are going to be wanting to finish the race out on top. We've got 15 seconds till we start here, coming down to 10. As you can see on your left-hand side of your screen, we'll go as soon as that hits 1 minute and 1 hour and 8 minutes, as we will go to our red lights now. Here we go, round 7 of the SRW V8 Supercars Super 1 Series, brought to you by DSO Welding. And it's lights out and away we go. Alex Court gets a little bit of wheel spin on the start. Who is that behind? That looks like Hayden Norris had a good start on the inside. The 911 car, David Nash there on Michael Whiting there. Almost 3 wide coming into turn 1. You can see the safety car behind as well. That's Blake Delaney, who had a beautiful start. Alex Court all the way down into P8. That wheel spin really cost him off the line. Michael Whiting into P2. David Nash, P3. Tyson McAvoy's up into P4. And Hayden Norris, Bruce Tannock, and Alan Dawson all benefiting from Alex Court's wheel spin on the line as they come through the Dunlop chicane. They come down all the way down to Tetra Rouge onto the Mulsanne. And Blake Delaney is really starting to pull a gap. But just as they get onto the Mulsanne, Michael Whiting is going to use all of that draft and get back onto it. We're now on the rear with Michael Whiting. We get to see the front of David Nash, all the way down, coming into the first chicane.
Oh, just going to scroll through with a rear chase cam guy. Great stuff, Shibby. You keep filing through this camera. We can have a look at all the cars and just see how that draft, makes a difference, how they can close up under brakes. That's a great shot, buddy.
Yeah, awesome. You can just see as well in the background how close these guys are to each other. It's so tight here at Le Mans. There's absolutely nothing separating these cars. Just looking down all the way.
Sorry. Happened to Alex Court, but he's back in 15th position. Wonder if we can have a look at a DSL Welding replay there and see what happened.
Yeah, it looks like he's gone side by side. He's braked quite a bit later than the 62 car there. And was there a bit of contact or maybe a lockup? Looks like a lockup from the car in front of him.
No, he's been tapped.
Oh, been tapped from behind. You're right. So he's going to be fuming about that one. He is not happy when it's.
Who was that that tapped him there? Who's the red fishy car?
I believe that is a red fishy car. Isn't that David? No, it's not David Kirby, is it? May have been.
Any of my links? There we go. It is
Alan Dawson. No.
Could be Matty Mundy or David Kirby, because they're the two red guys.
Matty Mundy's not
307. 307 is David Kirby, so David might get a penalty for that, but we'll have to see what happens. So Alan Dawson making a nice little move there, up into 7th position now.
Yeah, side by side. That's Hayden Norris and Matt Stewart going absolutely hard out. Behind them is Harry Dodds as well involved. The performance sim racing car with the wang on the front.
West Engineering. Yeah, no, this is great.
Awesome.
Boys are pushing hard. Well, this is what we thought we'd see, buddy. Again, the draft big, we're talking aero-wise bricks on wheels. So they punch a pretty big hole. And we're just seeing a big long train of cars here now.
You've got to be careful when there's a big hole in front of you because your temperatures will start to soar as Bruce Tannock's up into P3, but he's almost 2.5 seconds behind Michael Whiting in front of him and Blake Delaney. So they're starting to drop back now. The gaps are starting to form, but David Nash dropping back as well. I wonder what's happening to these guys through some of these corners. They're dropping back quite a fair bit. I'm not too sure what's going on there.
I think you're seeing that the toe's been broken in a couple of places there, so Blake's jumped a bit clear, though Michael's staying within a second there, so he might still get some toe. But yeah, look, I mean, something happened to Blake Delaney.
Oh, he has.
So Michael Whiting has just made a pass. We might try and have a look at that if we can.
Yeah, Blake's dropped down into P3. That's David Kirby dropping back to P11. Looks like he might have a slowdown penalty. This is really starting to heat up here.
I think that's what I think you just called it, mate. That was possibly Blake might have got a slowdown there, and that gave Michael the chance to jump through, and maybe Bruce as well.
Well, that's all it takes all it takes is a slowdown penalty for you to end up losing some positions, especially at Le Mans.
Yeah,
Probably
Shibby's saying that he's run a bit wide here. We're going to have a look at another.
That's Tyson, a big lock-up, and that's a bit of contact as well. So the stewards are going to have some words with him, I reckon, about that one. That's a big lock-up.
We'll have to have a look. I think that was a great save that who turned in on him there. It was a big bold move from Tyson. But that's thrown him a fair way back down the field. That's
the 911 car. That's David Nash, the 911 car. So he's got quite a bit of damage on that front left, and that's very unfortunate for him because he's got quite a bit of pace on that car as well. That's Alex McManus getting very loose with Dylan Thomas as well behind him, as they're getting very, very toasty behind as we're watching Hayden Norris now is in the tow of David Nash. You can see the gaps are starting to form in the
great train. Look at it. What's it, a 10-car train or a 15-car train? Something like that.
Yeah, side by side now. Teammates. Sorry, not teammates. That's Dylan Thomas and Tyson McAvoy going at it. That's a bit of a lock-up there from Alex McManus. The front left locking up. Goes a bit wide on the exit of the chicane as Tyson McAvoy is going to go to the inside, which is going to be now classified as the outside. He won't have the draft down the straight. He's going to tuck back into the train. Look at this. Dylan Thomas going to go for the move on the inside of Alex McManus. And look who's behind him, Tyson McAvoy. They're coming into the braking zone now. They've got to brake very, very early. Oh, and it goes a bit deep. But not deep enough. Oh, a bit of wheel spin there from Dylan Thomas.
Great save.
This is incredibly close racing. That's Blake Delaney as well, dropping down the order again.
These boys are playing for keeps, tight racing in a game. I mean, it's just one of those things when you're following so close, you're almost guessing where the guy in front's going to brake.
Yeah, you certainly are. I'm one of those people that brakes a little earlier because, I don't want to have any contact, but they're too wide now. Coming in Indianapolis, that's Alex McManus in the 408 car, Kai Turner from the inside, and Tyson McAvoy. That's Dylan Thomas off. There's so much action going on. This Kai Turner and Alex McManus side by side through Arnage. It looks like Alex McManus gets the better exit out of the corner, and Kai Turner has to succumb to the position. It was a lovely move he made up the inside.
It's like a game of musical chairs, buddy. It's like a game of musical chairs. They're all jumping around everywhere.
And this isn't even the battle for P3, because there's a battle for P3. Bruce Tannock's in P2 at the moment, and Scott Barton holding off Alan Dawson, Matt Stewart, Harry Dodds, David Nash, and Hayden Norris for P3. So, these battles are really starting to heat up for different sections of the grid. The pace is starting to show for these drivers where the similar pace is. This is Scott Barton in P3. You can see that is Alan Dawson showing him his bumper on the inside as he goes in very, very deep, taking a lot of speed through the corner.
You said you're an early breaker, Dano. That's what, if you're an early breaker around here, you might end up causing a chain of cars going into the rear end of each other. Because again, these boys are pushing so hard.
I mean, I'm an early breaker when I'm sitting behind somebody, but yeah, it sometimes does bite me in the ass. Because, I usually brake a lot earlier because I like to play the mind games of you brake really early and light and then coast through the corner. You save fuel and you put off the person in front so much because you've dropped back a lot that sometimes they'll miss their braking point, and sometimes it works out for me. But
well, as long as you're not getting done for brake checking, of course.
Yes, no, I don't intend to brake check.
Harry Dodds, he's been a big beneficiary of the shenanigans that have gone on, up into 6th position. I think Harry qualified in 11th or 12th, was it? 12th, I think.
Yeah, that's quite down the order.
So, hang on, we can have a look at that. I keep forgetting that I've actually got an SDK thing here. Up 9 positions, Harry. So, or at 8 now, looks like that David Nash has just got up on the inside of him. But again, look, this is awesome, buddy. It's an enduro round, 70-minute race, and
we've got action.
What?
That's Hayden Norris. A beautiful move up the inside into the first chicane. Great move that he's made there on Harry Dodds. Sorry. Apologies, Harry. I'll get it eventually.
But again, as we've said before, as long as you can stay close enough to the car in front, you're not out of this, because the draft will just bring you back in. Look at this. Harry's already sort of getting back onto the back of him and might even have a chance to move. We're having a look back at Alex Court, who's trying to fight his way back towards the front. I think that's a move on Alex McManus there, so that brings Alex up into 13th now.
Well,
Alex Court, I should say.
Well, Blake Delaney's also dropped down the order. He is 2 positions in front of Alex. This is going to definitely shake up the championship. Now, where Blake will finish, we obviously don't know, but we'll certainly be keeping an eye on it to see what happens. Now, you can just see the absolute loads of trains coming through.
Doesn't look like that car's damaged though, so he's avoided the damage. So maybe just again, an off track. Then it compounds with a slowdown as well, and then you get caught in your own air and no train, and it takes you a while to get back, with the cars. And once Blake can get ahead of the 2 cars in front of him, then he's got a little bit of open air that he needs to close down before he can get on the back of the next train.
Side by side through Indianapolis, that was Scott. Oh, he's taken out Matt Stewart, and there's cars rolling all over the place. There is a big pile up at the back of the field. That's Matt Stewart and Scott Barton, and also getting involved there, I think, was Dylan Thomas, and it looks like a safety car may have been called.
Yeah, Harry Dodd's caught up in that as well.
That is a sight you don't see very often. A car on the catch fence on the side of the track. That is Harry Dodds as well, who got turned around trying to avoid that action.
We're going to have a look at a
no action replay. It was a great move from Scott Barton. He almost had it. I think he just didn't realize that Matt was on the outside there and tried to take the racing line back, and just got flipped around, and you can see that was Harry Dodds spinning around, I think that was a bit of net code that happened there.
Yeah, maybe, or again, he's seen it all happen, and his light flashing before his eyes, and you make that slight over adjustment, and the car snaps on you.
Now it looks like we don't actually have a safety car here. These guys are back up to racing speed, so looks like Matty Stewart's getting right back onto it, and Alex Court takes a couple of positions, but that was a big collision that happened there.
Yeah, Kai Turner caught up in that too, so it looks like Kai's jumped out of the service, so his race is done with 9.
Well, Blake Delaney, the benefactor from that one, he's jumped now up into P8, so back up into the top 10, and he was currently sitting in P11, P12 when that incident happened, so a big incident that he was able to get through cleanly.
4 cars get taken out there, so yeah. Oh, we're going to try and have another look at this in slow-mo, I think. Shibby's trying to set it all up, so yeah.
So, yeah, I think
certainly spots up the action tonight, hasn't it?
Yeah, we can give a little bit of an analysis. So yeah, Scotty Barton on the inside there was trying to go for the move, and he got up on the curb and got the car rotated nice and smoothly. And
yeah,
you know what's happened there is his spotter will have said clear, and it would have been in between messages. So it would have said clear, and then said that there was a car there just as he got the contact. So I don't think that was anyone's fault. I think that's a racing incident. Race control will obviously decide that for us. But it's just unfortunate for Scotty Barton, who was looking like he was having a good battle with those boys.
Don't think I've ever seen a V8 defenestrated like that.
Yeah, it was an interesting bounce, you're right. David Kirby chasing down Matty Stewart as he pulls to the inside down the Mulsanne straight. Coming into the second chicane. Will he have the move done? Looks like he does. Blake Delaney as well getting the move done on Tyson McAvoy. He's up into P6 now. So Blake Delaney absolutely carving his way through the field, trying to extend his lead in that championship. As it stands, he will be pulling a long way away from Alex Court.
Blake is in 11th at the moment, but I think Alex has got a bit of damage on his car. Again, Blake somehow has had a couple of his own incidents, but hasn't put a bent a fender on that by the looks of it. That black and white fishy motorsports car looking pristine still.
Yeah, he's doing an awesome job of keeping that car on the track and out of the walls and out of any strife and harm's way of other drivers. He knows how to get through these packs, and I've said it before. Without it's all good and well to have pace. You'll be fast. You'll have a good quality lap. But if you've not got the racecraft, you won't have a fun time. And it's Blake Delaney showing that he really does have the racecraft. This is David Kirby now. You can see pulling to the inside. This is on the run into Indianapolis. You can hear them braking, lifting off very early. That's Tyson McAvoy just getting in front, doing a very good defensive job there, and getting through the corners nice and cleanly through Indianapolis. Braking.
Tyson's given up on taking that position back off Blake again. You know, the toe's pretty strong around here, but we have seen that, you know, Blake has moved himself right to the top of the championship, and, you know, to do that in the caliber field that we've got here at SRW does really speak of the guy's raw pace in the V8 Supercar.
Yeah, it does.
Not the easiest car to drive on the iRacing circuit. It's probably one of the hardest, together with the other car that we feature in SRW TV, the 911 Porsche, the 992 Porsche. Both those cars, you know, not having any traction control or ABS or anything like that. So I must admit, I love driving the V8s, and I find, you know, when I do drive the cars that have got that traction control and ABS and that, I find it harder to know where the limit of the car is, at least in the V8. You know, you push it too hard, it starts to slide out, so you can feel when you're right on the edge of, you know, your own personal grip level.
Wow, look at the speed. Just looking at the speed there that David Kirby took through that set of corners, caught up to Tyson McAvoy so quickly through those corners, and he's going to have the draft down the straight as Blake Delaney sets the fastest lap at 3:57 flat. Incredible pace from him.
But you can see there also the different strategies of how they're handling it. So that was David that, you know, was quite fast through the chicane, but Tyson just focused on his exit, and that's why he was able to, you know, keep that gap through the small, start line straight. I don't know if that's actually got a name, does it?
I don't believe so. I do believe it's literally just...
put some pressure on here now, David.
The start
great run through that corner. He's going to eat Tyson for breakfast here for sure.
Yeah, he certainly is. That was a lovely route.
He's going to get past him, and then Tyson might get the toe for the last part of this and be able to fight back again. Look, he's trying to get back into the...
Yeah, he's right back into that draft. You can see them sitting right on the middle of the track. A little bit of updrafting going on.
He had a run then. If he had pulled out, he probably would have got him then.
I think that was a bit of tactics there. I think he stayed behind just to make sure that he gets the draft. I don't think they wanted to lose time to the cars in front and keep going, because, you know, if you're side by side through those chicanes, you lose quite a bit of time, as Blake Delaney takes P5 from Alan Dawson, who looks to have a slowdown penalty.
Yeah, had a slowdown. So, but look, I think you're partly right there. I think, you know, if you fight too hard around here, you're just going to end up dragging yourself, you and the car you're fighting against, away.
Yeah.
Alex Court here making a move for 10th position on Alec McManus.
Around the outside.
He's trying to hold on to it, but no, Alex...
Yeah, he's going to break early, and he's going to say, you go, mate.
Well, these two guys actually ruined my commentary, buddy, because I like to refer to the drivers by their first name. I don't know if it's because I'm trying to be everyone's friend. Alex and Alex, so throw me.
Well, Alex McManus is coming right back at Alex Court. He's going to be on the outside coming into the Mulsanne corner. The penultimate Mulsanne, I suppose. He's going to have the better run. Usually I prefer to be on the outside. Alex on the inside. Does anyone have a little bit of a lock-up? They stay side by side. A little lock-up from Alex McManus on the inside right. And he manages to hold that one. Alex Court, a lovely move to take P10 from Alex McManus. A great little battle. And we'll see how this develops.
Yeah, there's a puff of smoke from both of those guys. Then going into there, they went about as deep as you can. Tyson coming up on David Kirby here at the moment. So these boys all having a great run inside the top 10s. We got Alan Dawson in 6th, David Kirby in 7th, Tyson McAvoy in 8th. Nice little 3-car battle going on here. And Blake Delaney is only a couple of seconds up the road. He's now starting to close in on David Nash. So. So again, we're seeing Blake's caliber come to the fore as he's fighting his way through.
Yeah, he certainly is. Alan Dawson's been doing quite well this race. He's up in P6, and Hayden Norris has been able to put in a nice recovery, and David Nash too, so P3 and P4 for those two. So Fishy Motorsports having a good night out. Sorry, Hayden Norris is not a Fishy Motorsports driver. Just thought I'd...
Alan Dawson, I think, is currently 4th in the championship, so Alan's been having a pretty good season so far.
Yeah, Alan, he's a bit under the radar, I think, at times. He's got quite a bit of pace, and it doesn't really show sometimes, and
Look,
it's good to see it showing now.
We've had some pace hogs, you know, Alex and Blake, Jamie a bit earlier in the season have all been hogs when it comes to that out-and-out sort of lap pace and qualifying times. But, you know, we're seeing that the majority of the field are lapping in the 58s and 59s. So, you know, again, for all these guys that are getting under 4 minutes, that's some exceptional times around this track. It's definitely not an easy track to drive fast. It always seems to be so much risk versus reward, and the moment you try and push, you get that little bit, take a bit too much of that cake that we all love. It, you know, that slowdown suddenly kills your lap, you know, and you end up losing 5 seconds or more.
I suppose that's what happens when you eat cake, is you slow down.
Come on, that's racing fuel. Cake is racing fuel, isn't it?
The first chicane that Michael Whiting has come through on the Mulsanne Straight. Doing a very nice job. 11 seconds in front of Bruce Tannock, and Hayden Norris is really chasing down his teammate in the Riot Sim Sport cars, as Blake Delaney is back up into P4. He's chasing them down as well, and behind them is David Nash, Alan Dawson, David Kirby, and Tyson McAvoy, all involved in that battle there. So this is a little battle forming for P5, and I'm sure it will be very, very, very interesting to watch.
Yeah, we just had race control on the radio, just saying that I think one of the early incidents that was called out by one of the drivers has been deemed a racing incident. So far there hasn't been any blame or anything associated by race control. So probably seeing it similar to how we have, buddy, so far.
Good to hear.
Well, good to hear that we get it right occasionally.
Good to hear that it's just a racing incident and no penalties are being handed out. David Nash is holding off these guys quite well. He's got a bit of damage on that front left, and we're at 22 and a half minutes in. He's doing very, very well. He'll be looking to maybe have an early pit stop. Now, they've got full tanks of fuel, but around Le Mans, you use fuel so much that they might have to do a little bit of a splash and dash in the pit stop. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm actually not sure of the fuel burn around here, so might see if one of the guys on the chats for our Facebook and YouTube streams, if you guys got an idea of what the fuel burn around Le Mans is, maybe we can see if there's going to be any major sort of variations in strategies amongst the drivers. But as you said, you know, if it takes you 2 full takes to get around here, then that doesn't really give a lot of wiggle room for strategy.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't. It'll be a tight pit window, I think, because, you know, when you have such a long track, you have to be careful with your fuel. So that pit window will be 1, 2, 3, 4 laps at most, I think, unless they've been conserving a lot of fuel. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot of fuel throughout this race. So it's going to be interesting.
Based on the action we've seen so far, Dano, I don't think there's been much in the way of conservation. These boys have been, you know, making moves, getting in the tow, taking advantage of it, and sending it up the inside. No one's been really sticking in the draft, looking after their fuel numbers. Not that I can tell, anyway. Oh, David Kirby.
Action replay of David Kirby doing that awesome move, 2-in-1 maneuver. We'll get an action replay if we can here. This is that move now into the second chicane. I believe this is the second chicane.
He's still on his slow-mo shivvy, but no, look good, buddy, on the slow-mo. You get to see the move. So he's just
You can
carried
see
more
that-
speed through the first part there and really
So
caught
that-
down.
He will have overtaken them into Mulsanne, and he will have done it quite easily. I reckon these two
Oh,
would have
look at the
fought into
speed.
the corner.
Well, look at the
Um,
speed differential there. You can already see that he's got, 5 or 10k an hour on the cars coming up on him.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
a
go-
long, slow.
It's a long slow-mo. It's a really long
It's a
slow-mo.
shitty.
We'll
Maybe
see
a couple
how he
corners early,
decided. How he decided to attack this one. Looks like, yeah, he may have just late braked and got them. Or done a nice early break, as we'll slow it right down into Mulsanne. Looks like he didn't get it done here, so interesting replay.
So car 44 has just been called out for I think it's a 10-second penalty served during his
Well,
pit stop.
That's Alex Court being given a 10-second penalty. They're number 44, so not sure what's happened with him. Apologies for that. That was a bit of technical difficulties, as this is David Kirby having a look at David Nash, as he's going to pull to the outside. Will he be able to get that car stopped in time? Looks like he's just going to be in front. He's going to try and cut him off. David Nash is going to be able to get back alongside. Is there going to be contact coming into the second chicane? They leave each other loads of room, and that's some wonderful racing from the two Davids on the grid, as David Kirby takes the position, but it's not over yet. David Nash gets the draft right back down the straight onto Mulsanne, coming into the corner. He goes to the outside. This seems to be the preferred line, is on the outside of the corner. Will he be able to get that move done? The draft is not going to be enough. They pass the cone. That's usually the breaking point. They're breaking into Mulsanne. They're going to be side by side through the corner. David Nash, what a move around the outside to take that position back. But it's still not over. David Kirby is going to stay alongside him. And Cowie, take it away. I need to go get a drink.
Boys are pushing super hard, not giving any room apart from that fair racing room, which has been great to see, but neither of them giving up. Again, when we talk about fuel conservation, I think there's none of that going on at the moment. This is just red hot racing. Looks like
Certainly
David Nash is going to keep on the
incredible
inside there.
racing tonight.
But David Kirby going for the switchback. Again, you see that damage that David's got there, that hasn't seemed to really hamper his pace. A little bit of a bump there from the boys.
Or is it something that is yet to come? Once he gets that
And
car
that's
repaired, could we see some incredible pace from...
Corners are fighting there, and Alan Dawson is back in the action too. Looks like he's going to try and make a move on David Kirby around the outside again. Inside for the next corner. No, he's just decided to tuck it in there.
Yeah, through the Porsche curves. Got to be careful going too wide here. The car on the outside coming into this left-hander usually has a disadvantage because, you've got that massive concrete wall. They're not getting too close to it.
Did you just say the Porsche chicanes again, buddy, did you?
I said
Did you
Porsche
say
curves.
the Porsche curves. Oh, it's Porsche.
Porsche curves. Porsche curves.
Okay, that's right.
And
Porsche
coming
chicanes.
into the
Porsche
Ford-
curves.
Ford-
There you go.
Four chicanes are these ones right here. A beautiful view of David Nash, David
trying to
Kirby, and
hang-
Alan Dawson coming through the curbs.
I was trying to hang shit on
Oh,
you
sorry,
there.
that's Blake Delaney. No, that was Blake Delaney, Hayden Norris, and Bruce Tannock there. And now it's David Nash, David Kirby, Alan Dawson, and there's Alex Court, Tyson McAvoy, Matt Stewart, and Alex McManus coming through as well. That was an awesome shot there, Shivy. Absolute hats off to you, mate. That was beautiful.
I was trying to hang some shit on you back then, Dano, but you actually got it right, so I can't hang shit on you if you start getting things right, man.
Circuit de la Sarthe.
There you go. I'll just leave you to butcher that.
It used to be one of my favourite tracks on the service. Sort of fallen out of love with it. Not sure what happened.
Yeah, never been a favourite for me, man.
But I think I have a small soft spot because I did out-qualify Fernando Alonso here. So that's my claim to fame, is I out-qualified Fernando Alonso in the LMP2 around Le Mans.
Oh, there you go.
And it was by about 2/10, so it was not a big margin.
I'm just hoping I get in the same race as some of the big names of these V8s. I've seen, Shane Van Gisbergen and Brody Kostecki and
Yeah,
Richie
racing.
Sanaway and a few of the boys out there racing in some of the officials. You know, also we've got our great, you know, the sim racers that are near the top of the tree. We've got a few of them in our league here too, which is great to see. But yeah, no, it's always fun when you end up in a race with those boys. It's not so much fun when they're lapping you, but you know, I suppose you can say you're racing with them.
Yeah, I have had the, I suppose, pleasure and terror of chasing down and defending from Shane van Gisbergen, and let me tell you, it is not an easy task. He is very, very quick, and he's actually a right foot braker. Now, you know, the supercars, the drivers, all right foot braking drivers, I suppose. Now, I say that and I mention it because
now you can do the left foot brake. I know there's a few guys in the current because you can still left foot brake as long as you get that
you
flip
can,
right.
you can. No, so I'm saying that because majority of drivers that drive the LMP2 and the GT3s are left foot brakers, and they do that because, you know, it just minimizes the delay between, you know, getting on the gas and getting on the brake. But Shane van Gisbergen's pace is second, absolutely second to none, and because he's a right foot braker, he's able to.
Alex there, big deep in the background there. But yeah, look, I mean, there's been quite a bit of conjecture over the real supercars series about whether or not they were going to go with electronic gearboxes and paddle shift or stick shift, but I think they've come out saying the same with the traditional gearbox and the stick shift. So
good.
You know, the boys will still need to heel and toe or do the blip at the right time, which is great to see. I mean, you know, I think it's one of the things that sets the car apart and makes it such the beast that it is, you know. Not just the horsepower and the sound of them, but, you know, also that you need. It's got a bit of a special talent to learn to get the most out of these cars.
Yeah, it certainly is. Now, it's heel and toe in itself is an art form, and it's very, very hard when you've got massive feet like me and they don't really turn too well. It's very hard to actually get your foot on the brake and then turn it enough that you maintain your brake and actually get on the throttle. So I usually just left foot brake in these cars, but hats off to anyone who does right foot brake and heel and toe. You are a master of these cars.
When I first jumped onto iRacing, I was actually heel and towing, but that was with an old G27 Logitech set of pedals.
I think those are the easiest pedals to heel and toe on because I learned how to, and now that I've got my load cell pedals, I struggle.
Yeah, look, and I found, like, I'm actually left-handed, so I'm left-footed as well. So I found that when I first bought my new pedals, the clutch was playing up, so I had to get a load cell sent from France for the clutch. And it meant I didn't have a clutch for a while, so I had to left-foot brake. And then when I finally got the clutch in and went back to try and heel and toe, I just found I wasn't fast enough. Because, you know, my left foot being my dominant foot, it, you know, just enables you to do that threshold braking, set your brake, the actual strength of your braking, the calibration a lot harder, so that, you know, you really got to stand on it to lock it up.
I think it's certainly a learning curve. I think when you get first into sim racing and stuff, I usually recommend, you know, start off with your right foot as if you were driving your normal car. Once you're confident with your right foot, then maybe start dabbling with a little bit of left foot once you're comfortable. You found a car that you're comfortable with. That's what I decided to do, and I have not stopped left foot braking ever since. I mean, even
sort of was forced upon me, and then I tried to go back and just found out it wasn't quick enough. not that I'm quick, but, you know.
It can be quicker, but... You know, Shane van Gisbergen shows that it can be quicker to not left foot brake, because I've watched him and one of the young gun absolute speedsters on track, Jackson Suzlin Harlow, go absolutely nip and tuck at Road Atlanta in the LMP2. And Jackson is a left foot braker and Shane is a right foot braker, and there was absolutely nothing separating them. If not, Shane was quicker. So,
well, I'm pretty sure that Shane's Van Gisbergen's sim at home, I reckon his brake pedals probably feel pretty close to the real thing. You know, seeing that, you know, it wouldn't just be a bit of fun for him. It'd be a tool that, you know, he would use to, you know, improve his in real world racing. So I'm sure that his pedal would be about as authentic as you can get it to feel, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of some of those high-range pedals, is you can actually get them feeling close to a real car, and that's what I think some of us are dreaming of, is getting some of that gear and such, as we're watching Bruce Tunnock now really taking it to Hayden Norris, and that's Blake Delaney now getting involved as well. So this is a 3-car battle for P2 and P3 as the Riot Sim Sport boys in the front. Mag and Turbo Motorsports of Bruce Tannock, who's just in unison with Riot Sim Sport.
Yeah,
they're going to be working together.
That was the battle for third, because Michael Whiting and Hayden Norris, we haven't seen much of those boys, but they're...
No, Hayden Norris is in front of Bruce Tannock.
Yeah, but again, yes, he is too. I apologise. Michael Whiting's 14 seconds up the road. I think we've barely seen any of Michael this race. You know, it's not that we're trying to diss you out there, Michael. It's just you're not involved in the action. So we'll give him 20 seconds on his own. Yeah, give him 20 seconds on his own. That's all he gets, because we've got action happen back there, man.
Listen, when you're at Le Mans, that gap is actually nothing. If he has any form of incident and he makes some contact, has a spin, anything like that, that 15 seconds that he's got there is going to come down extremely quickly. So
he's not going to be happy with you, Dano. He's not going to be happy with you laying down the commentator's curse like that, buddy. Jeez.
I got faith in them.
So he's going to blame if something goes wrong, mate.
Nah, nothing's going to go wrong. He's going to do beautifully this race. So these birds back here, Hayden Norris, and move on, Callie, move on. I don't want to dwell on it. We've got Hayden Norris and Bruce Tannock and Blake Delaney. You can see Hayden Norris starting to pull a little bit of a gap as Blake. Oh no, there we go. So early pit stop now, 35 minutes in, so we're halfway through the race.
Halfway. Yeah, it's halfway.
Yeah, halfway through the race.
We've had about half the field pit. A little bit less than half.
So we'll see how this goes. So Blake Delaney now going to be in some clean air. Now, the benefit that Hayden and Bruce are going to have is they're going to have draft on the pit exit. This is going to benefit them greatly on their outlaps, provided, they don't make any mistakes.
I think you're right. If you see the car in front going for the pit lane, then you'll go with him.
I think Blake's going to come in as well.
Normally in a lot of other races, you might actually wait an extra lap, but, you try to do something different from your opponent so you can try and get him in the pit stop.
Yeah.
I think around here, that draft, we've seen how effective it is. Yeah, I think you might be right, buddy. Blake may well have missed a little trick here, but we'll see. He is fast on his own anyway, so if he's left enough in those tyres to be able to push really hard this lap, we could see it could be calling it as a masterstroke, buddy.
Yeah, it certainly could be. We will see how this goes on the pit exit. Hayden Norris and Bruce Tannock getting out in P4 and P5. So David Nash, Alan Dawson, and Alex McManus all taking a page from those two guys' books and all pitting together. I'm sure that was a little bit of some Riot Sim Sport team orders, maybe, that they all just jumped into the pits together, get it out of the way. As we'll see how Fishy Motorsports copes with this. Michael Whiting and Blake Delaney, and Performance Sim Racing of Tyson McAvoy, who has just had a big lockup, and that'll be a big slowdown as well. So the time is going to start coming off. He'll probably come into the pits at the end of this lap. I reckon it looks like he might be struggling with those tyres.
Oh, look, as I said to you, man, I mean, we're only halfway into the race, and tyres are going to be a big thing. No way, none of these guys will only take 2 tyres. They'll be taking all 4, because there wouldn't be any rubber left on the tyres if they run and past, tried to do a full race on them.
Yeah, I'm sure that, having not raced the supercars enough to comment on that, I'll take your word for it, Cowie. You're our supercars expert here on the iRacing service, on our broadcast team.
Oh, I don't know if I'd be an expert, buddy, but I love talking about them, mate. So if you want to call me that, I'll ride with it. That's exactly right, Shibby. Just reminding us to let you guys know about our Enduro series that's coming up. So if you want to get involved in that, make sure you check out our SRW Sim Racing World website. I think we'll try and put some links in the chat there for you guys so that you can find your way there if you want to be a part. If you're looking to try and be a part of our next season. At the moment, we do run 2 divisions, Super 1 and Super 2, though they're both driving the ZB and the Holden and the Mustang, so it's not the old legacy V8s. but we do call it a Super 1, Super 2. So our Super 2 is more our development series, where the drivers in there do get some real-time coaching with some, pro drivers. So if you want to be a part of that and maybe get involved with that coaching, just jump on board and join us for the Enduros and maybe season 2 in 2022 for SRW.
Yeah, got some exciting things planned for the future. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to all of our pages, of course, so you don't miss anything that is up and coming. That 6-hour endurance is going to be an awesome event.
Now we're trying to get this a lot more like real TV as well, buddy. So we're actually going to go to a short ad for our sponsors, and great to have them on board. So that's the promo department. We've got Dragonrc and our major sponsor, DSL Welding Services. All right, we are back with live racing. We both said it at the same time, Dano. Nah, it's great. So that was a nice little advert there done up by the admin boys. I'm Shibby, I know you've had a fair amount to do with all of that too. So just a nice little promo for our upcoming Enduro series. So yeah, if you want to jump on board, jump to our website and follow the links and sign up.
There's Alan Dawson now making a nice move on his teammate David Nash, who has gotten that car nice and fixed up. You can see differences. Blake Delaney has actually made that stop work, because he has currently come out ahead after his pit stops in front of Bruce Tannock and Hayden Norris. So that is a very, very good pit stop from him out the front. You can see Bruce Tannock and Hayden Norris working together there, but sometimes when you work together, it can actually work against you as well, just because of that dirty air. But how good does that car of Bruce Tannock look with the blue accents on the front there?
Aqua, isn't it? Not blue, it's aqua.
Oh, sorry. Far out, boys.
Apparently aqua is blue, Shibby's telling me.
It certainly is blue.
Technically, you're correct. It's sky blue.
Oh, you're sky blue, Cowie.
Nah,
Cosmic purple, aren't you?
Boys are driving well here, and yeah, the right sim boys getting some nice airtime here. See what happens when you work together as a team too, guys. You get some bit more airtime on SRW TV.
Now, I'm just going to ask for a really quick over-the-top chopper cam or a chase cam. I want to have a look at the top of that Riot Sim livery. It looked like there were some tracks on the top of it as we're looking at Scotty Barton. If we can get a little closer.
Probably not.
That's all good. David Nash has done very well with Alan Dawson.
Yeah, it looks like they've got a little bit different on top of the cars, you know.
So I think it's different because, you know, one's the Commodore team and one's the Mustang team.
That could be right too.
Probably the differences in the liveries.
Speckles there on the roof of David's car.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure if it was a track or anything, but it looked like it was something. It looked pretty cool. I've just sort of noticed that.
I mean, all of these teams take pride in their liveries. I mean, I suppose, you know, on iRacing, we all seem to know that, you know, there's one or two guys that are paint masters with trading paints and all that. I tend to, you know, just find a nice starry sky image and just put that as a whole map on my car and then stick stickers on it after that. You know, that works for me. But, you know, these guys, you know, again, a lot of these teams have got their own sponsors, you know, so, I mean, all intents and purposes, there, you know, there's, you know, sponsors involved, so, you know, they're selling off the space on the car. Looks like we've just had a drive-through penalty for Alec McManus for the incident he was involved in there. So that's going to cost Alex big time. You're talking...
Yeah, you get a drive-through here, right?
40 seconds at least, yeah.
His race is pretty much over there, unfortunately. It's just the nature of Le Mans, unfortunately. You get a drive-through penalty, you get sent way too far back. Also, with the pit lane being on an incline as well, it's an upwards hill.
Oh, Scott Barton got loose.
Scotty Barton. And he saved that very well. Scotty Barton, got to be careful there, mate, into Arnage. It's a very, very easy corner to lock up into. I have done it several times in other cars. It's so easy to lock up there. You think you can go a bit later, and then...
Yeah, it was a hair breadth from turning around too far on him to catch that. That was a good save.
This is Matty Stewart and David Nash starting to go at it now, as I think we'll try and get those gaps up on the standings instead of the pit stops.
See Matty get on the gas there quite early, and the car sort of wiggled a bit on him. Alex Cord in the background there trying to get on some of this action. That's Tyson McAvoy back there behind him as well.
Michael Whiting is dropping down the order. Has something happened to him? So it looks like it may have
happened to Michael.
It looks like usually when it doesn't come up on SDK, as Shibby's telling us, it's usually some internet issues. Yeah, unfortunately. So that's very, very unfortunate for our race leader as well.
He was having a blinder, and he was that far in front that, you know, so we're going to try and have a look and see what where it began, maybe see if that gives us a clue to what happened to Michael. But yeah, maybe we did call it out, Dano, with that commentator's curse.
Nah, it wasn't me.
Horrible.
It wasn't me. I'm not taking responsibility for that. I'm not taking responsibility for somebody else's internet.
There has been a few issues with the boys with the internet issues. I know there's been a few graphics changes. So we're just looking at Blake Delaney at the moment to see where he passed Michael Whiting. Oh. But we can't see Michael on there, so yeah, looks like that has been a connection issue. Yep, he's dropped for upload packet loss, is what iRacing is saying. That is horrible for our race leader. I believe it happened to Adam Hughes in the Porsche Cup race as well. I read that in the forums, in the Discord chat for the boys. So that's horrible. Michael was having a smashing race. He was 15 seconds in front and in the clear. And now we've had Blake Delaney, who's had a fairly up and down eventful race, finds himself back at the front of the pack again with a 13-second lead over Hayden Norris. So.
It's an incredible drive from Blake, dropping all the way down the grid. seeing these gaps form now. This is David Nash and Matt Stewart going at it, as well as Hayden Norris and Bruce Tannock as well at the front are going at it. Just seeing on the standings. But we'll stay with these two boys.
Michael's going to be gutted. I feel for you, buddy. We thought you were having a great race. I know we didn't get to see your car very much. That's how good a race you were having, man. So that's crushing, buddy. Hope it's nothing too major, but yeah, that sucks, man. So best wishes, and yeah, hopefully we'll have you back for the next race. But yeah, that's a shocker. But yeah, that hurts, buddy. And you've been doing so well. You're up in a third in the championship and the triple points. But tonight, you were, that would have really leapfrogged you up there. So I know I'm just rubbing it in and making it worse by talking about this, buddy. But yeah, unfortunately, Michael, hopefully we can see you back.
Yeah, apologies on behalf of myself as well to you, Michael. Condolences go out.
Yeah, look, we talk about commentators curse and that, but I mean, I suppose it should be a good thing when we're talking about you, so it means that you're getting some airtime out there, and or you're, as Michael was, leading the race with no troubles. And then, it could have only been something like a computer issue, an internet issue that was going to wreck Michael's race tonight, because he wasn't going to wreck it himself.
Yeah, he certainly wasn't. He was on an absolute flyer, and that's, one of the, pretty much the only, I think, mechanical issue that we have here is, you get a mechanical failure where your PC shuts down or your internet cuts out, and that's our version of a mechanical error. So, unfortunate for Michael tonight, having a mechanical error. I'll put that down as a mechanical error.
That's all we can. Well, Alex Gord here. He's not far off the back. It looks like he's gapped Tyson a bit, and he's closing in on Matty Stewart and David Nash here. So
yeah, 20 minutes left to go in this race as it's starting to heat up just a little bit. Blake Delaney timed his pit stop perfectly. He's 13 seconds out in front, almost the same gap that Michael had in front of him. So, Blake clearly made the better call. You can see it out on track. But, it was worth the gamble, I think, for Hayden and Bruce to make that call, because the draft, is so powerful. I agree. I thought the guys that went in as a group, it was probably the smart thing to do around here. But again, Blake's one of these guys that's been working hard, on this series and putting a good bit of focus into, his practice and that to get ready for these races, and that has certainly showed in his results. But perhaps he found a quicker way to enter the pits, or again, I very much doubt he would have taken 2 tyres. I was just going to try and have a look at the pit times, and all of the pit times were 8 to 10 seconds, really, the stop time. So, I mean, Blake, that's it. If I'm looking at it here and looking at the pit lane time, so the whole time in the lane, Blake was 9 seconds faster than Bruce Tannock and Hayden Norris. So that's a good chunk of that gap. And then he must have also put in a lap that was 5 seconds better than their in-lap or out-lap as well. So that's where it all is. But wow. That's impressive. That's such a big difference in the pit lane time. Because as I said, there was only, I think he actually had a 10-second stop. He had a 10-second stop, whereas the guys had a 9-second stop behind him. So wow. Yeah. Look, taken away, talking about this other stuff when we've got this great action in front of us here. Again, our pictures brought to us thanks to DSL Welding, our major sponsor. Also should do a shout out to Shibby, our producer tonight, who's been working pretty heavily behind the scenes. And I would, not hesitate to say that, he's been a big driver in the sort of improving quality of our streams. So that's a good kudos and a cheers to you, Shibby, for all of that. We got the intervals, Shibby. Sorry, I had been wanting to say it for a little bit. There we go. We can see the battles that are... I did say gap. No, I did say gap. You are correct. I did say gap. So that was me that did ask for the gaps. But no, back to intervals. Yeah, Alex is really hounding Matty Stewart and David Nash, who have been battling for a number of laps now. So we'll see, can Alex make this move as they come into Tetra Rouge? He'll be wanting to maximize the speed onto the straight. Looks like he got a pretty good exit, and it looks like he's going to have a chunk of draft down the straight. Will Alex be able to make this move into the chicane? We'll have to wait and see. It's now down to 2/10 behind Matt Stewart. Down to 1/10.
The next one, he might get both of them here with this extra speed pad.
It's going to be one. He's going to back out of it. Alex Court, not one to back down out of a fight. He goes for it up the inside. A great move into the first chicane, and that's been a great overtaking opportunity for a lot of the drivers tonight. And now he's got David Nash in his sights right in front of him. 4/10 behind. That gap is going to start coming down as well. Alex Court really in the zone now.
Look, you know, we've said Alex has got pace. We know that. Certainly makes things exciting for us, and had a few up and down incidents through the season, but he's also had some great results as well. So again, you know, it's awesome to see this sort of stuff.
Look, do you see how late he broke there? He was braking so much later, carried so much speed through the corner, and had just as much control as David Nash in front of him. So he's got the pace. He's going to have the draft. He's going to pull out to the left. They're going side by side into the Mulsanne corner. We're not going to have visual. We're going to go back to chopper cam. A little lock up from David Nash. There's a little bit of contact from the front right. He's saved it very, very well. Matt Stewart is able to capitalize. He gets in front of Alex Court. This is going to come right down to the wire. There's 15 minutes to go.
That's how close it is here. You know, you make a move and
no, don't do it, Alex.
Opening the door
don't make
for the
it three wide.
Alex is hunting hard here.
He's looking for it. You can see him tapping the brakes there. He's seeing what's happening there. David Nash goes in. Alex jumps to the inside. Is he going to get that move done? He's going to have the camber of the corner. Matt Stewart able to hold it on the inside. Alex braking just a little later. He's going to break this over.
Yeah,
is the exit better? No.
A good exit. Matty got a good exit then too. Yeah.
Yeah, Matty got a beautiful exit.
I think Alex set that up to try and get him down on the straight down here, but Matty just was supreme and got it out of there with no wheel spin and plenty of drive.
And the more these two battle, the more David Nash is going to start to pull away. So Alex has got to be a little bit careful here. They're going to be side by side, coming through the Porsche curves. Alex on the outside is going to be careful. That right wall, he keeps out of it. So very good driving from both of these drivers. And Matt Stewart finally relinquishes the position to Alex Court, who has been putting in an incredible recovery drive. He's now got his sights on David Nash, but he can't get his sights too far forward. Matt Stewart is not letting this position go without a fight.
But that's what you were talking about there before, Dano, when, you know, going side by side through the chicane. See how much time that cost both of them to David ahead. You know, David about a second.
5-6 tenths.
Yeah, at least. You know, I thought he pulled out to about a well over a second and a half gap there. I think Alex has now brought it back in under a second. But yeah, that cost him big time. But Alex obviously didn't cost him too much because he's back on it and chasing hard.
Yeah, I think Alex made the very good decision to go up the inside there, make it too wide through the Porsche curves, because, you know, you set that car on the outside. If you can get past that concrete wall, that's just what I'm naming it now. It's just the concrete wall. If you can get past there into the right-hander, you kind of have the corner for the next one, as long as you're basically ahead. So they come through Tetra Rouge now. Alex Court just under 5 tenths now, so he's going to be right in the attacking distance. That target is going to be on top of David Nash.
As he's got a good run too. He's coming in up. Oh, look. Just a shout out to the Fishy Just do a shout out to the Fishy Motorsports boys. I was just flicking through Facebook and I could see they're sharing the SRW stream tonight. So thanks for that, boys. It's awesome to have you guys on board for this series. there's about 10 of you, so it's awesome to have you, and we know that that's going to help just bring more exposure to our little racing channel here, and hopefully we can see the growth that we all looking forward to.
It certainly is some incredible racing as here we go. Alex Court round the outside. Both of these drivers braking as late as possible. Alex Court round the outside into the second chicane, but David Nash not letting it go. He's going to have the outside of it coming down the next straight into the Mulsanne corner, and Matt Stewart starting to get involved. Alex Court still has the lead for the moment. They're going to be side by side now. Matt Stewart, is he going to make it 3 wide coming into the corners? I don't think if they go 3 wide, it's going to go, but he's going to try and make it happen. They're going to be side by side. David Nash going to have the inside. Alex Court round the outside. Is he going to have the move done? No, he's going to have to relinquish it to David Nash.
A little fish on the exit there. You got a little fishy on the exit there too, Alex, and that's given Matty a chance to attack now too. So you can see then the guys, and look at Tyson. Tyson was well out of the picture now, but this 3-car battle here is just slowing each of them up, and Tyson is starting to catch up as well now. Oh no, I just did the commentator's curse on Tyson. I think something just happened to him.
May have had a bit of a wheel spin out of Mulsanne as Alex Court having a look up the inside. Oh, there could have been a bit of contact there. It looks like Alex is able to come away in front. Looks like he's got a bit of contact on the right-hand side of that car. There could have been something there. I think we'll get an action replay of that overtake because it was a very, very good one and we kind of missed it.
I think we're
it now. Alex Court up the inside.
I just think that's some healthy door banging, man. Yeah, just a bit of healthy door banging there.
Oh, that's actually a bit of net code, to be honest. There was no contact on our screens from there, so it looks like it might just be a bit of cosmetic damage to the right-hand side of that car, as Alex Court's now going to try and get away from these two, but they're going very, very hard into the Porsche curves, getting very close. That was David Nash almost touching that corner there. Now, he had damage earlier in this race, doesn't want to get any more. He will have used that fast repairs. They use all of the track coming into the Ford chicanes.
One fast repair for the boys tonight. So
10 minutes to go. So 2 or 3 laps
we
left.
didn't necessarily mean to be, these guys to be hogging the feed tonight, but this is where the action is. And I mean, these boys are just racing so hard. I think Hayden Norris is only a second
slow
behind.
Down there. That's a slow down for David Nash.
Slow down.
And so that's going to benefit Alex Court, who's going to be able to pull away from Matty Stewart. And so just as you were talking about the commentator's curse and talking about how good of a battle it was and them hogging the feed, it's gone just like that. So thank you very much, Cowie, for that. We'll give someone else.
We just moved to another battle, so we've got another After Dark car involved in this. So that's Scotty Marshall trying to make a move on Alex.
Side by side into Indianapolis. Alex McManus, a lovely move, but Scotty Barton's going to have it round the outside into Arnage. He's going to be very cautious into him. We did see him lock up into Arnage before getting a good exit.
That was a great exit there from Scotty. Has he done up to get up the inside of here of Alex McManus?
He certainly has. Certainly has done enough to get up the inside. There's going to be a sweeping left into the sweeping right. He's going to have the position. It looks like Alex is not going to be able to hold it round the outside. That's a beautiful move from Scotty Barton. The DSL Welding team is not DSL Welding team. The After Dark Sim Racing team, sorry, is very, very good. They like to practice their defending and overtaking in their practice sessions, and so very well done to both of those boys tonight. We've had an absolute masterclass from Alex Court, an overtaking masterclass. He's been doing a very nice job.
Well, it's been a nice highlight. A few of the drivers were a bit unsure about having Le Mans on the calendar for this season, thinking it might turn out to be a bit of a boring race. But we've just seen that draft has kept guys in the mix. So you get the pass done, but then 2 corners later it's not done. He's back up your inside again.
Yeah, that's the nature of the corners here. Is because they're all such low speed corners. Other than the the curves, I suppose. So that's the Dunlopshire curve, and then they've
Get
just
the
gone
nice
through.
concertina where everyone bunches back up again, don't they?
Yeah, exactly right. So that's the beauty of this track is it's a long one, but there's always action as opposed to, the Nürburgring, which is sort of like a big Monaco where, there's...
Alex in the grass. Good save.
Saved it, but he's going to be able to get through Tetra Rouge nice and quick. He keeps it on track.
Well, no slowdown there. He's pushing hard.
Yeah, no, he kept two tires on that, what's curbing?
AstroTurf.
Safety
Water
curbing.
Yeah.
On the outside.
There's some great action here. I know Hayden Norris up front to the two Riot Sim boys. He's only a 3/10 behind Bruce Tannock. But the boys, they're not battling. It looks like they're maybe just sitting inside and
Probably
we maybe won't see a battle out of those boys until the last lap. By the looks of this, we'd have to have a look where Blake Delaney is at the moment on track. We've got just over 5 minutes left.
Well, if these boys cross the line Blake Delaney's just crossed the line, so I think we'll have 2 more laps after this one. A 3:56.796, a beautiful lap from him. He is absolutely churning out the lap times, and it's been an incredible drive from him after dropping back to almost the back of the field.
Well, this is one of those things. This might throw a few cats amongst the pigeon too. That Blake Delaney has got across the line and forced an extra lap. If Bruce Tannock had been in the lead and Blake wasn't up there, Bruce likely would have got the white flag this lap. So I'm just wondering what that does to some fuel strategies out there, because that may well put some drivers a lap short. It's one of those things. I know I've experienced this myself. I use Crew Chief to do my fueling and stuff, where he works out automatically how much fuel to put in. But he does get it wrong sometimes when it's a timed race rather than a number of laps, because again the leader has triggered maybe an extra lap and that throws it out. So that may will put a few guys under the gun fuel wise, but again I know that a lot of these guys calculated properly themselves and maybe they factored in an extra lap. It's definitely one of those places you wouldn't want to be short. I don't think the margins would probably be there for that extra lap of fuel would cost you time, but again it might be not worth the risk around a place like this when you think there might be an extra lap.
Yeah, if there is an extra lap and you haven't fueled up for it, you're absolutely stuffed around here because it's so long and nobody will push you across the line. So if you've underfueled here, you've got a problem and it'll drop you down the order as well. So you're going to be quite cautious as we're back with David Nash and Matty Stewart and, back to Alex McManus and Scott Barton.
No, look, it's been some great action tonight. I mean, we, as I said before, a few of the boys thought it might have been a bit of a boring race, but I think it's proven to be anything but boring. I mean, we've, seen 3, 4, 5 cars battling and swapping positions all through the race, mate. It's awesome.
Yeah, it has been pretty cool. Now, I think these guys will be crossing the line at a white flag. They'll be looking for Barney the flag. No, Barney the flag man has not waved anything, so these guys will have 2 more laps to go after this. So it's going to be coming right down to the wire. Who has saved some fuel? Who's not filled up enough? We're going to have to wait and see. As Hayden Norris and Bruce Tannock look to be getting nice and cozy with each other, these two might be starting to really battle it out. Not too sure.
I think you're gonna find that they may well have a go at each other on the last lap, but then again, they might be happy with their current positions as well.
About 30
Bruce
seconds.
Tannock, I think, is the team boss. Bruce Tannock's the team boss, I believe. So maybe Bruce is saying, "No, this is mine, boys." We'll have to find out and see if they can attack him.
Well, look, the team boss isn't telling you to not race, but it might be the case. We'll ask him afterwards. We'll have a conversation.
We've seen this sort of thing, haven't we? Team bosses, tell us, "Oh no, we let the boys race," but maybe it's different when the team boss is the one out in front.
Yeah, it can be.
That's good. And all of this, that was a nice little shave of the wall there by Bruce as well, so that car's a little bit thinner. Maybe it was just a mirror shave.
Yeah, I think it probably was.
Well, there's no scratch up the sides. That was a mirror shave. It's getting a bit buddy, sticking out a bit.
Getting the elbows out a little bit. Hayden Norris doing a good job.
And Bruce just trying to gap him a little bit here. Maybe Bruce has heard us on the stream, and he doesn't want to be, accused of team orders, so he's just going to try and gap him. Hayden's not going to let that happen. Look, he's back right on his tail again.
And no white flag again here, but I think they're definitely going to have to be on the front.
No, the white flag will come out when Blake Delaney goes across the line, buddy.
Well, he's already been across the line, and I assume that there would be a white flag because there won't be time for another. They will be finishing this lap after the time has elapsed. So this should be the final lap. Not too sure if that's SDK or iRacing that's an issue. Okay, so yeah, it should be telling us that the white flag didn't get shown either. So I do think that this is the final lap. There's no way in 20 seconds Blake Delaney is getting to the end of that track. It's been a good drive from Blake. It's been a good recovery drive out in front. He dropped all the way down into P14 at one point, and he's now back in first position. So I think, usually we give it to the driver that's made the most overtakes or the most positions gained. But I think I'm going to have to give it to Blake Delaney personally. What about you, Cowie?
Bruce Tannock is up 7 positions in second position. So, I mean, we're looking at the driver of the day doesn't necessarily need to be one of the guys that's on the podium. We tend to try and pick someone that's, had a great drive but hasn't made it to the podium. So
then maybe we should decide between Matty Stewart and David Nash, because those two have been having a very hard battle, and I think, should we say whoever comes out on top, because it's starting to heat up a little bit between those two.
Yeah, well, Matty Stewart's up 5 positions so far in the race, so he's having a great run. Alan Dawson up 4 positions, Hayden Norris up 3. We've also got Alec McManus up 5 position. We know Alex, as per usual, has been right in the thick of it again. But he tends to get into the thick of the action, Alex. So, but we love it, buddy. So don't change anything. Here we go. Is this Hayden looking to make the move on the team boss?
It is Hayden having a look at the move into Mulsanne. Doesn't get the move done, but he's gonna have another chance as Matt Stewart's looking to have a move down at the back on David Nash. That gap's down to 2/10, and it looks like Matty might be able to pull to the outside. They're going to be on the run onto Mulsanne as well. As you can see, Alex caught just in the distance as well. Here we go, Matty Stewart around the outside. He's going to be able to make the move. He is not. Could be going for the switchback though, so the exit of this corner is going to be so important.
Good exit from Matty there. I think it was a pretty good exit from David too, but Matty's got just that little bit better, I think.
Yeah, he's kept that gap to 3/10, and this straight is going to be long enough, I think, to hold that. Is it going to be enough to hold Matty off? We will have to wait and see. The gap's now down to 2/10, just trickled under. Is Matty Stewart going to hold the outside? He's braking very early. Where is David going to position that car? He sticks to the outside.
Better keep an eye out on the front too and see where Blake is, because he must be too far from crossing the line. Blake's a good, 40 seconds in front of this battle.
Yeah, he certainly is. Coming actually now into Dylan, Dylan Thomas. So, yeah, Dylan is just...
Yeah, coming into the final complex, into the final chicane complex.
Yep.
So.
There it is. The checkered flag is out as he comes through the 4 chicanes. Blake Delaney, a great recovery drive tonight. We'll take round 7 of the Super 1 series here on SRW TV, brought to you by DSL Welding. A great drive, and I've got to sneeze. I'm back.
To this hot battle between David Nash and Matty Stewart. Matty pushing hard. Not much of the lap left, Matty, so you've got to get it done here, son.
Yeah.
These boys
can't really make a move into those 4 chicanes. You can't make a move to the 4 chicanes, so you've got to make that move now, Matty. Find a space. 4/10 separate these two. It's going to be very, very close, but I think David Nash...
He's not cracking here. David's done a supreme drive here.
Certainly not. That is an incredible drive from David Nash. Actually, I am going to give the driver of the day to David Nash. He had damage at the front, and that's a great drive to finish P6. He had a lot of damage on the front left of that car in the opening stages of this race before the pit stop, the first half.
Looks like
Driven
Bruce
it very
Tanak
well.
did hang on to second position there from Hayden Norris. We just saw Tyson McAvoy going over in 8th, so that's a top 10 finish for Tyson. So that's a great drive from him.
Yeah, Alex McManus and Scott Martin still having to pit as they weren't lapped, as we get to see some race celebrations. Alan Dawson maybe celebrating some good constructors points.
Well, that's
Hayden
second,
Norris.
third, and fourth for the Riot Sim boys. So that's a pretty good effort from that team.
Yeah, loving it down the Dunlop chicane and Dunlop curves.
Boys having a bit of there's been practicing.
Oh, lovely
that, I
little
reckon.
360 there from Hayden Norris.
Yeah, he's been practicing that.
Always fun to do a bit of
And
donuts.
just a little shout out to Michael Whiting. So unfortunate, Michael, with what happened, technical issues and that, buddy. That's horrible. But you were in the box seat there, and unfortunately, you know, it didn't go to the plan for you. But Blake Delaney, we can't take it away from Blake. He had a great race.
Yeah, he certainly did. He drove it home, and after dropping down to almost at the back of the grid, he did an incredible job to get up into first position.
Well, I think it's all the races have finished. So do you want to throw up the final results for us, Mr. Shibby?
I'm trying to find out.
Oh, they're not up yet.
It was Blake Delaney, Bruce Tanak, Hayden Norris, and I'll give
Alan
it.
Dawson.
Do you agree with David Nash?
Oh, I think if you're going to bring David in, bring Maddie in as well. I think if those two boys come in, we might grab those two separate, or after we've had a chat to the podium guys, and then we can have a bit of a chat about their battle there. Yep, so while we get sorted, the guys to jump into the green room for our podium discussion, we're going to do a nice short little ad for one of our sponsors, Dragonrc, and again, it's great to have them on board. Again, back thanks to Dragonrc for their sponsorship of our race channel here. So it's great to have them on board. We're still just grabbing a few of the drivers down into the green room. But again, look, we're just have a look at some replays here of the action. And again, it's been an awesome result. So we've finally got the leaderboard up finally, so it's all official. Our winner is Blake Delaney with Fishy Motorsports, finishing 20 seconds ahead of Bruce Tannock with the Mag and Turbo Motorsports, driving one of the Riot Sim cars, but obviously in the different team because we've got our sort of team set up as a two car combination. Hayden Norris in third, Alan Dawson in fourth. So that was three of the right cars in the top four positions. Alex Court, a great drive from Alex after wheel spin off the line, dropping him back to about 15th. Has fought his way back to fifth position. Matty Stewart in sixth with Vast Motorsport. Again, Matty having a great battle there. There was someone else missing from the middle of that, wasn't it? Was it David Nash? Yeah, David Nash is showing in 10th, but I thought David was right in the middle of battle. It's saying here David was a lap down. I don't know what's going on there. No. Yeah, so SDK is saying that David finished in 6th, but the results up there were showing him in 10th. So I think something's gone wrong there. But Tyson McAvoy finishing in 8th position. That's a great drive from Tyson. Again, I think he qualified 7th, so he's ended up being a position down. But I know Tyson got caught up in a mess there at the start and had to fight his way back through the field as well. So that's a great drive from him. Alex McManus, another great drive up 5 positions into 9th position. That's a great finish from him. And Scotty Barjan starting the grid on 10th and finishing in 10th. And again, another one of those guys that was involved in plenty of action there for us. Harry Dodds, that's a pretty good recovery from Harry, up 4 positions after getting caught up in that horrible incident and losing his bonnet. So it would have had to been a pretty long stint there from Harry, and those tyres wouldn't have had much left on it, mates, at the end there. So that's a great drive from you. Dylan Thomas, unfortunately, Dylan got caught up in that mess at the start there. And then our non-finishers, Michael Whiting, David Kirby and Kai Turner. Unfortunately, Michael having issues with his internet, we think, and David got involved in that incident, and Kai copped it as well. So, unfortunate to those boys. But I suppose the one great thing about it is it's virtual racing, so we don't have anyone actually truly getting hurt, and they're able to come back and race again another time. All right, looks like we've got our podium in the green room, so let's drag all of the podium in and have a chat to these boys, eh?
I'll do that right now.
Sounds great, Dano. Hang on, dragged them in and dragged them back.
Sorry, hang on. I've got them in now.
There we go. So we brought David in as well, but we'll have a chat to you in a moment, David. But Blake Delaney, congratulations on another win, mate. You had a
stunning drive
out of the race there and had to fight your way through the field. I bet you didn't think it was going to play out like that.
No, made an error right down the bottom of the Mulsanne and almost hit the wall and just dropped every position there was.
We were commenting that the car looked clean and you did have a scrape on it, so we I don't think we caught exactly what happened to you there, but just saw you sort of pummeling down the order. But no, mate, you must be pretty happy with your drive through the field.
Yeah, no, I took a punt on setup, ran no wing at all, and the car was fast. I mean, Mike got out to a 15 or 16 second lead, and then we were talking during the race, and he said he had to take 80 litres, and I'd saved, a lot, and ended up taking 53 litres. So came out 2 seconds behind him or something like that, and then 2 laps into that it would have been a really good battle. I was catching him, and then he had a power failure, unfortunately.
Oh, was it a power failure? Oh, no.
Yeah,
that's horrible.
Fair bit of thunderstorms going on down here, but he had a great race. Killed it. He was like 15 or 16 seconds out in front when I'd had that accident. So
it was his race. We thought we gave him the commentator's curse because we were saying that he had it almost had it sewn up already.
Yeah, I had the commentary on in the background, and I could hear you guys. I mean, there's a lot of free time down the back straights, obviously. So plenty of time to have a listen. And I heard you saying, "Oh, how did Michael? What happened to Michael? He had a 15-second lead," and I'm sitting there going, "No, he didn't. 2 seconds." But no.
We never got to see that because we didn't. We saw that you ended up with, I think, coming out of the pits like 9 seconds faster than the boys behind you. So did you just think to go for that separate strategy? Because we were calling it that the draft was pretty strong around here. So it was almost a better option to pit with other cars.
Yeah.
You stayed out there.
Yeah, well, look, the only way, like Tannick and Norris went in And the only thing that I had was fuel save, really. I mean, I wasn't going to catch 15 seconds or 16 seconds of Mike, and Mike's quick, just as quick. So the only way to catch him was to fuel save, and I got plenty of fuel saving done behind those two boys, and thanks to the Riot boys for that. It was a bullet, absolute bullet.
Well, mate, it was certainly a great drive. So we'll give you a quick chance to give a plug to your sponsors one again. We're probably sick of hearing from them now.
Hey, mate, they're good sponsors.
I'm sure they are, buddy. And you're getting a good chance to plug them with your driving, mate. So
just before I give him a plug, big shout out to the old man who's listening and watching tonight. He's seen a couple of good races in Scops and now, so a lot of fun. But West End Motor Group, Black Wolf Graphics, DC Shades, obviously the cars down there at West End Motor Group, Parramatta Peugeot Prestige, Parramatta City Great Wall and Haval, West End Mazda Parramatta, Parramatta Isuzu, Relax Marine and Game Fishing, and one big shout out to Precision Sim Training. JT, what a setup, mate. Absolute superstar. So if you guys out there wondering where the setup came from, it's certainly not my brain. JT, absolute superstar. Book some training with him. He's a gun.
Awesome, mate. Well, we certainly appreciate all of your sponsors on board as well as ours, because that's what keeps us all going and keeps this great activity of ours, this sim racing juggernaut that we're all a part of. And it just seems to be getting bigger and bigger. So that's awesome. Now, we haven't actually got Bruce Tannock in the chat, I don't think, but we can have a quick chat to Hayden Norris, who finished on the podium. Great drive, Hayden.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
So you you were quite in the middle of the action there, buddy. Plenty going on.
Oh, for sure. You know, just as a driving around with Bruce for most of the race, and just try to keep it off his rear bar, and just try to keep it clean and conservative. And we did the job. Got on the podium. Can't complain about that.
Yeah. So was there any team orders? Is Bruce making sure you stayed behind him, telling you not to send it?
No. We were having a bit of fun there for a little bit, but I decided didn't want to risk anything, so I didn't do anything too risky. But we had a bit of fun there. It was all good fun.
Well, it did seem like, we saw it in the qualifying that you guys were trying to work together as teammates and that to give each other that toe for the laps and, swapping it around during the lap to maximise that time. I mean, it was pretty fast out there, buddy. Were you expecting the pace to be what it was?
The way I was thinking about it is as long as you're in the slipstream, like in the draft down the straights, you're going to be right. You'll probably stay in a pack, but with these Fisher cars, they were bullets tonight. Too quick, just couldn't keep up with them.
That's awesome, mate. And there was some great trains going on there, and it was sort of like you got a move done, and then you had to, watch your mirrors for the next 5 corners, or look out your side window if you're running triples.
Yeah, you're not in there, mate.
No, it was some great action. I mean, I know that a few of the boys earlier on in the week were a bit apprehensive about Le Mans on the calendar, but it brought out some really good racing. Were you happy to see it yourself? Is this a track you favour?
Honestly, this is probably the first time I've actually driven the V8 here, and it's got the best of both worlds. It's got some obviously quite a few nice corners and big straights, but it's just quite a close racing with these straights. You can keep up to the car in front of you, no problems with with the slipstream, and it's not a favourite of mine, but it's not too bad nonetheless.
Oh, awesome, buddy. Well, look, I suppose it's time for you to give your sponsors a plug, buddy. So take it away, and let us know who's looking after you boys.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. I'd just like to thank FU Suicide, Capital Custom Works, Bliss Homes, and everyone that's behind the scenes with this with the series that puts it on, and you guys up in the comms booth as well. Thanks, guys.
Oh, awesome, Hayden. Well, a great drive from you and Bruce. So that's second and third for the Right Sims. Though Bruce is in the Mag and Turbo team, so is he actually a teammate for you in this league?
Yeah, he is. He's got his own team as well, so he does a bit of both there. So
that's awesome, man. Now, we've also brought David Nash and Matty Stewart in. Now, we were going to give you boys both a joint driver of the day, because it seemed that every time there was action on the track, it was you pair right in the middle of it. So, David, how'd you go? Did you enjoy that race, mate?
I don't really feel I should be driving the day. I started third and ended sixth, but that's right. No, me and Matty had a good, it was felt like 20 lap battle. So
that's what we thought.
Oh man, it was just down the straight you'd get overtaken, and I was pushing my car to where I needed it to be so we couldn't get past, but that didn't always occur. So, you know, it was nice, clean racing. That was the main thing.
Yeah, well, you had Alex caught in the middle of that as well. So,
I didn't want
we've
him to
seen
get
it.
past. I was trying my best to keep him behind me, but that didn't happen.
What about you, Matty? That was some pretty awesome battling out there, mate. Did you have a ball?
Yeah. That the last few laps there was I had a ball, mate. That with Alex as well. Like us three, we had a good little race there at the end. It made sort of a really long, big track seem like quite a short one there for a bit.
No, mate, it was certainly awesome to watch. And I think I maybe made the comment during the stream that you guys were hogging all the TV time with the action. So, but it was great to watch. So I suppose Dave will give you a chance to give a shout out to your sponsors and then Hayden. Then Matty, I should say.
Sweet.
So,
Just
Dave.
kept CCW, Riot Sim Boys, what do we got? FU Suicide and Bliss Homes.
Oh, awesome, mate. Well, again, another one of those Riot Sim cars. You guys got plenty of airtime, so I'm sure your sponsors will be happy with your racing tonight. And Matty, Vast Motorsports Machines, you seemed a bit of a bullet tonight, buddy.
Yeah, I was trying my best out there as usual, mate. But I'd just like to thank the Fast Boys and I had a ball out there, and thanks to the drivers too. It was fun.
Yeah, it was incredible racing out there tonight, boys. You really put on a show in the closing stages when it was sort of starting to get a little bit, lackluster, and there was, everyone was sort of just finding their own little bits of air, and it was a good show.
Yeah, cheers, Dano. No, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we certainly appreciate it, boys. No, and it's good to see you guys getting some good, solid results. I know that you've had a pretty good season so far, Matty. David, you've got involved in a couple of shenanigans, so I have to have a look to see how your season is running, buddy.
Yeah, no, it's all about the shenanigans.
Mate, well, we do have a dedicated Saturday night SRW Mayhem, so if you want shenanigans, you should be joining that one.
Yeah, certainly.
But no, we certainly appreciate the battle that you guys gave out tonight, and congrats to both of you. That's why I know you said you didn't feel you deserved the driver of the day, David, but it was a joint one between you and Matty because you hogged all the airtime. So
you put on a show for us, I think. It was more of, it was, you guys put on a good show for us, I think. So that's more or less what we were wanting to give it out for. Please, I've written a whole thing.
You can have it, Dano. Go for it. So you did promise it to me, buddy, but I'll let you have it.
Well, that will bring us to the end of our SRW broadcast tonight. Thank you guys all for joining us here tonight on SRW TV for round 7 of the SRW V8 Supercars Super 1 Series, brought to you by DSL Welding. I'd like to give one last massive shout out to our sponsors, DSL Welding, Dragonrc, and Promo Dept for all of their lovely work that they do to help us out. And of course, a big thank you to you at home for tuning in tonight. We do appreciate it very much. If you guys want to get involved with us here on SRW, we have a V8 Supercars 6-hour endurance that you've seen some adverts for tonight. We have that starting quite shortly, just shortly after the season ends, so actually in a couple of months. The links for that are in the description to get involved, to sign up, all that kind of stuff. We would love to see you guys getting involved with that. It's going to be an absolute blast. Endurance races always packed with action, and we do want to see you all involved. Lastly, if you've enjoyed the broadcast tonight, make sure to like and subscribe to our channels and share us around. And from all of us here at SRW TV, good night, and we hope to see you on Tuesday for the Radicals at Snetterton. Cheers, guys.